Hi everyone, welcome to episode 1 of Patent Litigation for Dummies. I am your host, Ahimsa Hodari, and I am also your favorite patent litigation associate. And I'm excited to share with you just some things that I've learned along the way, and hopefully this channel is useful. If you find this useful and this content engaging, please remember to like, subscribe, and follow, and hit me in the comments with your thoughts, questions you have, and other things you'd like to know about and learn. Let's just start off with the disclaimers. Although I am an attorney, I am not your attorney, so this video is just informational only. Does not constitute attorney advertisement, and I am just sharing my knowledge just to help others who would like to learn about patent litigation. So with that out of the way, I thought I would start episode 1 off a little bit in the middle, and I say that because I'm not going to go through what a patent is and break down all of that today, but I will come back to that in a future episode. And so today I just wanted to start with probably the number one question that I get asked when people find out that I'm a patent litigation attorney. They say, "What is your tech?" And what does that question even mean? So I think people understand that patent litigation is highly technical. You are looking at technical information, scientific information. You might be looking at things related to computer science, whether it's code or how something is made, from an engineering perspective. And so a lot of people just, when they find out I'm a patent litigation attorney, they say, "What is your tech?" And I love that question. It's a great question. I am a, in the words of Stanford, fuzzy versus techie, I'm a fuzzy. So I have a degree in public policy, undergrad and grad, and then I went to law school and I worked before I became an attorney. I don't have a tech per se, as a fuzzy. But what I would say is, there are layers to that question. So to be a patent litigation attorney, folks assume you've got to have that hard science, you've got to have whether it's STEM, math, mechanical, electrical engineering, computer science, understanding different chemical, whether, for pharmaceuticals or whatever. And that is absolutely true that helps, and that knowledge is not going to go to waste. So if you already have that, or you're already pursuing those types of degrees and you think you want to do patent litigation, you don't need to change course. You don't need to, figure something different out. But this video, and the reason why I'm making this video, is for maybe somebody like me who is a fuzzy and says, "This sounds interesting, can I do this?" So, and the reason why I am even making this video is because when I started, I asked myself that same question, can I do this? And even in the interviews, I said, this is my background, public policy, I've worked in some business and supply chain, and sort of explain some of the things that I've done, and I said, can I do this? Can I be successful? So just to cut to the chase, yes, you can do this. Yes, you can be successful. You do not need to have a hard science background. You can be a fuzzy instead of a techie, and it'll work out. But let me unpack this just even further. So within patent litigation, as I mentioned, depending on the patent that you are evaluating, your background will come into play, or even the transferable skills will come into play. So if you're litigating something and it has to do with like how a phone works or how a computer chip works, so you might have electrical engineering background, or you might have a background in computer science to read the code. Even if you cannot, there are ways that you can participate and add a lot of value on your team. And from the discovery process, from managing different meet and confers, from even taking a first stab at doing claim construction, which I'll talk about in another video, the Markman process, and looking at the patent, understanding when the patent expires, understanding what the risk exposure is from a damages perspective. So before I came into patent litigation, I had a background sort of just in general kind of project management and supply chain. And I'm bringing all of that skill set into patent litigation, right? So managing the case, making sure you're understanding all the case deadlines, deliverables. But you will want to learn. So even if you are a fuzzy and not a techie, you don't necessarily want to, you know, pigeonhole yourself. You want to learn the patent litigation statutes. You want to understand, well, what is patentable? What does the law say about this or that? This is federal court. You want to understand, okay, in my federal district court, what is the law on this, right? And so you might not be able to parse the actual patent itself to the level of detail that would be required, but you can definitely understand and learn from your from folks on the team that are on the tech side of the case. And you definitely want to think about, how would I communicate this to a jury? At the end of the day, this is litigation. We are in court and we are putting on cases before a jury, and a lot of juries have between 5th grade to 12th grade education. You know, great if you get a jury that has a mix of college educated folks. So we're explaining things in a way that we want to make it simple. We want to make it accessible and tangible, and we want to tell a story. So if you can tell a story, if you can understand the tech, tell a story, and help others understand, you know, maybe your story is, we did it first. We invented this thing first, you know. The other side is alleging that we're infringing their patent, but how could that be? Because look at this. This came 12 years prior to plaintiff's patent, and it practices, you know, ABC, and that's exactly what plaintiff's patent requires, practicing ABC. So being able to tell a story is an invaluable skill set. I could go on, but just to sort of bring this in for a landing, I just want to reiterate that, you know, for folks who are interested or are curious about patent litigation, if you're on the side of the house where maybe your history or anthropology or whatever your fuzzy side of things is, there is absolutely a place for you in the patent litigation field. I would love to talk to you more about it. Like I said, there's lots of transferable skills. And I would say the number one thing that I would offer to someone who is even just thinking about it is, you know, that willingness to learn. You know, you're going as an attorney, if you are thinking about being an attorney, or if you are, you should, and you probably already have sort of like a curiosity and a hunger to just learn things. You will be a lifelong learner in this field. You will always be trying to figure out the nuance with the patent. You'll be trying to figure out how best to communicate it. And then again, even if you don't come into this field feeling like you know patent litigation, it is incumbent upon you to really try to understand, what is the case law in this type of issue, how have courts ruled on this, just so that you have another area where you can offer and add value to your team, because that's what it's all about. We all bring something different to teams, and so if you can offer that nuance to, you know, to say, I've looked at the case law, or I, you know, remember really putting things together, remember what you did on a previous case, I think there's a lot of transferable skills. So what I would say is, if someone, you know, if you're even talking to someone and you say, I'm interested in patent litigation, and they tell you, nah, you don't have a science background, I would just say, hey, my favorite patent litigation associate, Ahimsa, told me I don't need one. So, you know, you can send them my way. Feel free to come back to me with questions. If you're interested in learning more about my path and what my path was, hit me in the comments, or if you have questions. I would love to talk to you more. And I will, as I mentioned, I'll be uploading more videos that go into depth about what a patent is, the types of patents, whether it's utility patent, design patent, the unique aspects of the of a patent litigation versus you know, maybe a general litigation or some other type of maybe class action litigation. We'll be talking through how to look at a patent, how to read a patent, all of those things. Again, this is Patent Litigation for Dummies, so you don't need to know anything. And when you walk away from the channel, my hope is that you have learned a little bit, but really that it sparked your curiosity and you're excited to dig in and learn more. So again, if you have found this content useful, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and I'm so excited to share more learnings with you as we go along. Thanks a lot. Bye.